The weekend continues here on Chair Shot Reality. Of course, WrestleZone, YouTube, and iTunes. Eisenberg LeBar. Talking about Roman Reigns, made his big return at Consol Energy Center in Pittsburgh. We were there to see it live. You could feel it, you could hear it. Even though he got the mixed reaction, Josh, there was a standing ovation from that crowd. When they cut to commercial, they appreciated the sense of intensity.
They did
intensity to that. Was that the best and the right way to return him?
I'm not sure if it's the best way to return him, but I think it's the right way because I think right now you saw Dean Ambrose for weeks and weeks and weeks get built up only to lose clean to Triple H at WWE Roadblock. So you had to hit the reset button, Justin. You had to bring Roman Reigns to this live crowd in Pittsburgh who, it's not like Philadelphia or Chicago. There are a lot of kids there. It's more of a mixed reaction, mixed crowd. But that's a lot better than no reaction. That's a lot better than him getting booed out of the arena. And that's a lot better than him, not getting any reaction out of people. I like the intensity of Roman Reigns. I like the fact that he didn't come out of the crowd. I like those little things about his character in that 1 week that I saw him come back that I think this could be a turning point for him. Whenever he was off television, people didn't really care because they were pushing Dean Ambrose. Now that he's back, now he needs to cut out the BS, cut out the talking, attack, attack, attack. That's what his motto has to be against Triple H.
I also like the fact that he did not come out of the crowd. I thought him being gone from TV for a few weeks was a perfect time to reset and have him come out the entrance way, because let's be honest, you can't do the crowd thing forever. I would have liked it if he went even further with a little bit of a reinvention and maybe it switched the look up or something.
I agree.
A little more of something to make a statement that he's back and has a different mindset. I thought it was well done. You're right. A reaction's better than no reaction. Let's face it, people have made up their minds if they are going to accept Roman Reigns or not. Their minds have been made up. And all I can say is I thought, red equals green. We know that the blood was a great touch there, between he and Triple H. It had a very physical, very real feeling to the battle. I liked it. People have made up their minds, and I think the important thing we have to remember is whether you like it or not, they are not going to turn him heel. And you just got to think.
Aren't they?
They're not going to turn him heel. And the thing is, but how can you blame them for not? First off, if they get rid of him as a top babyface, if they start billing him as a heel, what top babyfaces do they have? And yes, I know Dean Ambrose is a favorite and this and that, but again, thinking about it as not as a wrestling company, but as an entertainment juggernaut. Roman Reigns, even if you boo him, they are still going to tout him out as a smiling babyface on the morning shows. They're still going to tout him out at corporate functions to get to brand awareness. And it's okay. It's almost like WWE is expecting a portion of the audience to boo him, and that's okay. It worked well for the last decade having John Cena be the top heel and top face. Roman Reigns is going to do that same thing. The only thing I didn't like about the whole segment is I didn't like. And I understand why they're doing it. I didn't like the fact that Roman Reigns is acting like more of the heel in this.
Well, and here's the thing with Reigns is
because they're trying to get people
to... But they're trying to get people to care about Roman Reigns. They want him to be more of that Samoan badass that Brock or Paul Heyman said all the time whenever he was facing Brock Lesnar. I get that. You don't necessarily need that. And this is, if you really, really are invested in Roman Reigns being a face, it's very simple to get some heel heat by bringing Stephanie McMahon into the picture. I know that she's consumed with the Shane McMahon, Undertaker, and Vince McMahon storyline right now, but who gets more natural heat when her music hits every single time, Justin? Well, it's Stephanie McMahon. You got to bring her and you got to involve her in the story somehow.
I don't know if I want to see Stephanie in the storyline because, as you said, she's already logically involved over in the Shane McMahon deal. But you are right; she gets great heat. And let's remember, Roman Reigns is not as hated as we talk about because it's been proven if you put somebody opposite of Roman Reigns that people really can't stand, i.e. the League of Nations and Sheamus, Roman Reigns is over like the Beatles. So. Roman Reigns, there is room for cheers to be gathered by him, and I think the honest barometer, if we really want to take the temperature of this whole thing, I think it's a lot of fans who would like to, they think it makes them being heard to go against the grain of what WWE wants, but deep down, I think they appreciate Roman Reigns. Again, hence the applause that was there live for what was a very entertaining brawl.
And here's the thing that I need to know now, and we're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. What is The Rock's involvement at WrestleMania? We still have no idea. Is he going to come out and do a few things?
Haven't they kind of subtly said he's the host, but they're not making a big deal about it?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. This is the guy that you have on pictures outside of Arlington, and all that you said is, well, The Rock's going to be there. I don't care if he's just going to show up and say a few words. There has to be something built around him. I don't care if it's a match. Well, obviously, it's not going to be a match, but I don't care if he's going to be involved in a match, maybe potentially on Roman Reigns' side, or potentially doing something with Shane McMahon and The Undertaker. You have to at least have him come out in the next 2 weeks, have something, maybe not even live to the crowd, maybe something video packaged, targeting who he wants to target. I need a reason to be excited to see The Rock at WrestleMania because I'm not. And I love The Rock. What's he going to do? What else is there for him to do?
I want to toss an idea out real quick because we have about a minute left. I want to just get your quick reaction. Rob Rossi, a Pittsburgh writer.
I knew you were going to bring him up.
No, I had to bring him up.
I knew you were going to bring him up.
You don't know where I'm going with this,
Okay,
though.
go ahead.
Rob Rossi was a wrestling fan. He's a Pittsburgh Trib columnist here. Rob came on the radio with me on Tuesday, and we were joking, having fun, talking about Raw. Rob threw out a fantasy scenario that actually I thought was very interesting. We're talking about trying to get Roman Reigns over. What if the Shane McMahon match takes place early in the night? And what if Shane and Vince are actually in cahoots? It would be the first time we've seen that kind of thing, where Shane and Vince are actually in cahoots. It's pushing Stephanie and Triple H out of the door, so to speak. Anyways, Taker gets screwed, Shane gets power, but Vince is okay with it. What if later on then Taker came back out and somehow got back involved in that title match and however it gets done ultimately endorses Roman Reigns? Is any kind of rub from any kind of legend like that's a rare rub? Is anything like that would that do the job for Roman Reigns?
I think the biggest thing that you can think about is the rub that they tried to give John Cena whenever The Rock tried to do that with him. They tried to say, we're still going to make John Cena, but at the same time, John Cena was still established.
Yeah.
He was still already the guy.
He didn't
He didn't need it, but they wanted him to be crowned, the next Rock. It's not a bad scenario. I just think there's a lot more other creative ways you can go about it, and I'm still not sold on Triple H and Roman Reigns being the last match of the night. Not at all.
There's so many scenarios too, because if Shane wins power, he's pushing Triple H out. So do you have the Triple H match later? There's a lot of things. We still have time. Still a couple weeks to go to Mania. It's a lot of things to debate. Of course, we look forward to seeing everybody at Sherlock's Pub in Arlington, less than a mile away from AT&T Stadium. We got more to come here. Some heel or face. Plus, we're going to sit down and talk about the build to some of these other marquee matches at WrestleMania. Don't go anywhere.